Hey, everybody. Welcome to Breaking 80 Over 50. My name is Frank. A few years ago, with the kids grown and on their own, I decided I needed a hobby, something that was my own to enjoy on weekends. Enter golf. I had no idea at the time that it would be the beginning of a journey. After breaking 100 for the first time in 2024, breaking 90 in 2025, I'm now interested to find out how low can I go. Can an amateur golfer, now in his late 50s, who is committed to learning the game for the first time, put up a round in the 70s? Each week I'll share my journey with you, the ups, the downs, the frustrations, and the moments that keep the hope alive. In addition to round recaps, I'll discuss all things golf, from lessons to books, YouTube videos, gadgets, and anything else that I've tried along the way. One thing I can say for certain is that golf is hard. But if you're like me, it's the challenge that keeps you coming back. So if you're new here, welcome. A returning listener, welcome back. Let's get to this week's show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to August. We are in the depth of summer, back to school happening soon, and it is just slow in the sports world. I think Saturday night had dinner with my son at Buffalo Wild Wings, and on TV was a replay of an NBA playoff game and hockey, where it's not on ice and people are just kind of on foot running around a hockey rink and hitting a ball. And I was like, wow, things are slow in the sports world. It is that time of the year. In last week's podcast, I, towards the end, said this gem that I'll play for you right now. I've been chipping better, pitching better, putting better, even though it didn't show up on Sunday. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I can have a good month of August. Clearly, that seemingly harmless comment found its way to the golf gods, angered them, and they decided that there were different things in store for my month of August, that hope was not going to be enough. So I guess that's a little preview of how my golf weekend went. But 2 rounds of golf this weekend, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. Saturday played with, who did I play with on Saturday? Jason, Al, and Steve on Saturday. Go out, warm morning. I don't know why I even say it anymore. It's hot, summertime. It's Florida. Both days were pretty warm, but started out the day relatively well. So bogey on 1, par on 2, bogey on 3, a double on 4, a par on 5, and a birdie on 6. So at that point, I'm 3 over through the first 6, which is a good start. I'm okay with that. Move on to 7. It's a par 3. Was playing about 165. Hit a good drive with a 7-iron. Hit the green. Didn't hold. Bounced along. Hit a chip back up and on. Ended up 3-putting from there to make double on 7, and then went bogey on 8 and 9 for a 43 on the front. And I remember feeling a little disappointed in that number. So 43 is fine. I mean, for me, look, if I go 43 and shooting 86, it's a good day. I just felt like I missed some opportunities. The 3-putt bothered me. Still struggling with the putter, and felt like that 43 could have been 2 or 3 strokes better. But moved on to the back, and things did not get any better on the back 9. So on the back 9 on Saturday, I bogeyed every hole, 8 of the 9 holes, with the exception of the 12th hole, which I tripled after hitting my drive in the water left. I just couldn't get anything going. I just got on the bogey train and could not get off. And for me, when I get there and I'm struggling to find a par, I start overthinking everything and over every shot. Too many thoughts in my head in terms of how's my setup and how's my grip, and then during the backswing, I'm like, is this too shallow? Is it too steep? Like I'm trying to fix my swing as I'm swinging, and it's a bad place to be. It is. It's truly, like, it's one of the challenges that I have is that when things go off the rails, I struggle to get them back. I struggle to turn it back around again, even though uh, I'm not mad. I'm not upset. I'm like, it's okay. That hole's over. Let's go get a par on the next one. But one bogey leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. So Saturday, I end up shooting 90, and I've talked about this before. It feels like that's where I end up. That if I shot 25 on the front, I would shoot 65 on the back for 90. So felt like I let Saturday get away from me. But the good thing on Saturdays is I always tell myself, it's okay. There's always Sunday. This week, Sunday was not going to be any better than Saturday. So started okay. Back out on the course on Sunday, was playing with Jake, Allison, and Larry, and broke my string of bogeys with a par on the first hole on Sunday. So that was good. Bogey on 2. And then on the third hole's a par 3, hit my tee shot, came up short, and short is the right miss on this hole. You can't be long. Long brings out of bounds into play. And from a club selection standpoint, I knew I might come up a little short, and that was okay. But hit a great chip to about 5 feet. And at that point, so to back up a little bit, on Sunday, there was nobody out there. It was really quiet on the golf course. Last Sunday was packed. This Sunday, we teed off at 8:30. Had everybody been there at 8:00, we could have teed off at 8:00. Just wasn't anybody out there. But immediately after we teed off as a foursome, there was a threesome that teed off behind us, and they were right behind us and waiting through the first couple of holes. So we get to the third green, and Jake says, how about we let them play through? Like, we're not in any hurry. They're going to be right on us all day. They're 3, we're 4. So why don't we just let them play through? And everybody agreed. All right, let's let them play through. Tried to wave them up. They didn't seem to understand that. So I got in a golf cart, took a ride back, said, hey, we don't want to hold you guys up all day. We'll wait. Go ahead and play this hole, and then you guys will be out ahead of us. So they did, and ultimately it was the right decision. I think they finished almost 2 holes ahead of us. So we would have certainly been holding them up. But they finished 3, move on to 4. I head back to my ball mark that, again, is about 5 feet from the pin. I think everybody else, there were a couple of chips and putts, but finally, after what felt like a half an hour, I get back over my 5-foot putt, which is really straight downhill, and miss it, push it right, make a bogey. Wasn't thrilled about it, but it's kind of the way things have been going with the putter. So move on to 4. Fourth hole, which I've talked about before, is a short par 4. You can drive the green, but in order to do so, you've got to carry water, depending on where the tee box is and where things are set up. It's 240, 250. And unless the tee boxes are way up and we've got a nice stiff breeze at our back, I'm not all that confident that I can carry that. And most people aren't. So the right play there is a layup out onto the fairway, which I did. Had just a touch, I think 102 yards in. Now, there is something about this hole. At the moment, it is my nemesis. I'm really struggling on this hole. And I think the more I struggle, the worse it gets. And it's a narrow green. It's long. It's got 2 tiers. The front is lower than the back. On Sunday, the pin was up front. There is the water that I mentioned that you need to carry if you wanted to try and drive it is short left. And then there's junk, sawgrass, kind of a wetlands area that's off to the right, which is also out of bounds. You're going to lose a ball in there. Neither of these from 103 yards out should really be in play. But there's something about this hole that I stand behind the ball, I pick a target, I find something, 3 or 4 feet ahead of the ball to line up and think this is what I want to hit my shot over. But every time I'm overshot on this hole, I feel like I am not aimed properly, and all kinds of things go through my head. And ultimately, I end up doing what I did on Sunday, which is leave the club face open and slice one to the right that goes into the sawgrass wetlands junk. To say I was unhappy about that would be a mild understatement. So that's my second shot. Now I drop 3. I'm a little closer, 60 yards, 65 yards. Drop 3, hitting 4. And this one I hit into the water, front left. Now my temper is starting to boil over a little bit. So hit the second shot in the junk. That's 2, drop 3, hit 4 into the water. Now I'm dropping 5, hitting 6, which I chip up onto the green and 2-putt for an 8. And that's an 8 on a par 4. And I gotta say, I was upset. And at the time, what I said was, this is Jake's fault. He's the one who said, let's let this group in front of us, behind us, play through. And it just killed all the momentum. And Jake's response was, no, everybody agreed to it, which he is 100% right. And it's not his fault that I missed the 5-footer after waiting half an hour on 3. And I hit a good drive on 4. It's not his fault that I hit the next one out of bounds right and the shot after that out of bounds left. But I was hot. And I did feel like, and it wasn't Jake's fault, I did feel like we killed our own momentum a little bit by letting this group play through. So, rough start. I don't know how else to put it. And I'm disappointed in myself at this point that I still struggle to get over these things sometimes and just forget it and just keep playing. But I'm at that point where I look at my round of golf and parred the first hole, but now I am 6 over through 4. And I'm already thinking my day is done. I'm 4 holes in, and that's the thought process in my head is my day is done. And not that I'm planning on going out and breaking 80, but even if I wanted to shoot an 85, that's how I feel. And it's not true, because if I can get it together, I can make some pars. I can certainly bring this back around. But at that point, I just couldn't get out of my own way anymore. I was so frustrated. Like I said earlier, over the ball, a million thoughts going through my head, trying to reinvent my golf swing on the golf course and just to jump ahead. So on the next hole, which is a par 4, I put up a triple. 6th hole is a par 4, I bogeyed. 7th hole is a par 3, double. 8th hole, par 4, bogey. 9th hole, par 5, triple. So shot 52 on the front. And I really did. I don't know what hole it was. 5th hole, 6th hole. I just given up. I wasn't taking time over putts, wasn't taking practice swings. I was so frustrated because on Sunday, at that point, I feel like there is no. On Saturday, I can say, it's okay. I'll go out and play better on Sunday. But Sunday's it. Now, I'll go out and play again next Saturday and Sunday. But I find it really frustrating to know that just, it's 52 on the front. What am I going to do? Am I going to go out and shoot 30 on the back to shoot an 82? It's not going to happen. And at this point in my journey, I'd like to think that I don't have that kind of golf left in me, but clearly I do. The last time I posted a score of over 50 on 9 holes was June 13th, where I shot a 51 on the back 9. So it's been 6 weeks, but clearly it's still there, and clearly it happens. And again, at that point, I had just checked out. And I hate to say it because I talk about on this podcast all the time. Like, go out there, have fun. When I talked about the Dr. Bob Rotella article last week, he said every round of golf is different. And just because I went out and shot 86 yesterday doesn't mean I'm going to shoot 86 again today. It's just as likely that I'm going to shoot 96. Man, is it frustrating. So make the turn to the back. And again, I'm not in it. Mentally, I have checked out. Double on 10, double on 11, par on 12, where I hit some really good shots. I mean, maybe at this point I was starting to cool down a little bit, but double on 13 and the double on 13, I had hit just a monster drive. The hole was playing probably 340, but after my drive, I had 60 yards in, middle of fairway, 60 yards in, made double on 14, bogey on 15, parred 16, parred 17, bogey on 18 for a 46 on the back and a 98 on the day. So what's the good news? I didn't shoot over 100. I guess is the good news. There's not much else good that came out of that round. And I think the worst thing that came out of that round was just my attitude. Now, it got better as I got into the back and I started to cool down a little bit, but I don't know. I'd love to tell you. I'd love to tell you that I'm over it and I can go out and I can play a bad round of golf and I can go out and have just as much fun shooting 98 as if I was shooting 88. But I'd be lying to you. It's not true. When my game gets away from me like that, it really bothers me. So to recap, between Saturday and Sunday, which is 36 holes of golf, I hit a total of 6 greens in regulation, 4 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. I had 34 putts both days, and both days had 2 3-putts. I lost 4 golf balls on Sunday. That's more than I may have lost in the month of July. I made over those 36 holes 1 birdie, 6 pars, 18 bogeys, 7 doubles, and 4 triples or worse. 3 triples and 1 quadruple. I've said it before. It's hard to come on the podcast and share these kinds of numbers, but I do it because it's important that you know that this happens, and it's why the handicap system is what it is, right? That out of your most recent 20 rounds, it's going to look at what's the 8 best, and those other 12, it's going to throw away. But speaking of handicap, that's another painful piece of this. Is last week I mentioned that my handicap had dropped down to 15.9. So it's the first time that my handicap started with a 15 since January. So it had been 6 months since I'd been in the 15s. And that lasted all of 1 week because the 90 and the 98 that I shot this past weekend replaced scores that were coming off of my scorecard, which were an 85 and an 86. So my 15.9 in the course of 1 week has now jumped up to 16.9. And it's hard to swallow. It's tough, guys. It's tough out there. I try to come on here every week. I try to be positive, talk about even when things are not going great, what I'm working on, how I'm going to turn it around. And I haven't been practicing, I would say, as much as I need to. I've been practicing at all. I go out and play golf, but because of just what has been a crazy work schedule, I'm not getting out to practice. And So I just hope it's hope and a prayer that when I go out on the weekend that a better golf game shows up. And sometimes it does. A lot of times it does not. I'm not putting in the work I need to get better. But I'm hoping that I'll probably have another month, 6 weeks of crazy work schedule. And then maybe as we look to round out the year, I can find a way to start getting some practice in and find my way to some better scores. So I'm a little under the weather. I'm going to cut this one just a little short this week. I'll be all right. Get back out there. I'm going to keep playing. Just a rough weekend. And it happens. Happens to all of us. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the pros just like it happens to the amateurs. So that's it. That's what's going on this week. Thanks for being here. I really do. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you next week and hopefully have some better golf to share. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your week. If you made it this far, thank you. I can't tell you how much it means to me that you hung in there for the whole show. If you enjoyed it, please rate, review, and subscribe. And maybe even share it with a friend who is out there on their own golf journey. If you listen on Spotify, leave a comment or a question, or send me an email at breaking80over50@gmail.com. I promise I'll read every one. All music was provided by Epidemic Sound. I'll leave links to any of the content that I mentioned in the show notes. Keep swinging, keep smiling, and remember, it's a game. Get out there and have fun. Thanks, everybody.